Alrighty, what's up, my boys? How are you? How are you on this fine day? Still hanging in there? Still bored out of your fucking mind? Still sitting in your chair, staring at your computer screen and occasionally hitting the refresh button on F1.com? Still praying for something F1 related to catch your attention and fill in the emptiness you suddenly feel inside, having not watched an F1 race in 65 days, 17 hours, and 22 minutes? And while before there was the slight but imminent jolly you felt from the holiday season fast approaching, but now all you've started to feel was the ever so familiar hangover every morning as you've been drowning yourself in alcohol the past few weeks. But deep down, you know no sports fascination will fix this black hole you've got growing inside of yourself, which can only be explained by your subconscious understanding what an utter failure you've grown into, with no prospect of having any kind of social interactions which could lead to healthy family life for once in your life. Because God knows you've not experienced that since the day you were born. Yeah, same.
200 Grand Prix Daniel speaking to young, naive Daniel. Enjoy the butterflies, I think. Enjoy being naive. The parties will come. You don't want that name too early to be like the party guy that is finishing 15th.
We're P18, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So in the theme of trying to get your mind off of the shit that life typically brings your way, I'm back. Back at it again with your favorite format, my friends. Today, let's take a look at yet another candidate for the substitution of F1 in this never-ending off-season. Somebody's got to keep you entertained before the circus starts up again. I haven't even said what I'm doing today. What I'm going to do is watch an IndyCar race and give you my honest and immediate feedback on the thing. Whether it is actually an interesting piece of motorsport that could entertain you in the cold winter months, or it's yet another blood-sucking failure that the Americans had created in response to the success of Formula One and are just too proud to admit it and close the shit show once and for all. Alrighty, let's find out. Wait. Okay, wait a fucking minute now. What the fuck? This is just NASCAR, but with ugly-looking F1 cars. I ain't fucking watching this. Is this honestly it? The only entertaining thing about this is there was a crash on the first corner of the first lap. If you can call the top half where the oval rounds out a bit a whole separate corner, of course. No, but for real, I'm not watching this shit. This is the saddest rip-off child of the eternally miserable redneck racing league with some horrid kit car looking ass Formula 1 cars. Is this it? Is this it? Is this actually it? If this is a typical IndyCar race, I'm gonna Alright, now we're talking. It feels like this is the first time I'm seeing cars actually making right turns on that side of the Atlantic. It almost seems wrong. Like the American flag waving in the background was just a fluke, and I'm actually just watching the F5 Racing League, where the 13-year-old prepubescent boys battle it out in their makeshift race cars they've made with their deadbeat dads in the shed behind the shop. It honestly feels like just another one of those 35 different sub-leagues that serve as the stomping grounds for spoiled millionaire brats to pretend they have some actual talent and not just a more expensive go-kart their daddy bought them for their 9th birthday. But to be honest, that's also the charm of the whole minor leagues. I sometimes tune in just to observe the dreams of these young rascals being tarnished when they realize they actually don't have a speck of talent to their name and everything they've achieved so far in their career was purely based on the size of the donation their family was able to make to their local racing team. Also the reason why I sometimes enjoy F1. After all, Stroll is just a scaled-up version of that, isn't he? I really don't understand the Americans' fascination with rolling starts. Fuck me. Come on. I understand when you have 35 million cars all going at the same time at an oval track, it might make sense to keep them all in the line at a steady pace before flying off. But on a regular racetrack with a regular-ass toy car version of an F1 car, you could at least make the start exciting and introduce some adrenaline off the line. I mean, I get the whole difficulty with starting a manual car and being an American thing, but at least it would be entertaining. Like, imagine, race starts and 70% of the grid just stalls out, because the only automatic thing in that car is the AR-15 strapped in underneath the driver's seat. You know, maybe those who couldn't start should do a penalty round where we check who is the fastest draw over the grid. Last man standing gets pole position in the next race. I'm sorry, but there's a motherfucker with the name Will Power on the grid. Will Power. I can't. I really can't. You Americans, I really fucking can't. These little flag-waving capitalist fellows never cease to amaze me. And the way they said Romain Grosjean, I think my left eye started watering a bit. I've never heard anyone say someone's full name in a way that's so offensive. Even the president of the Unhinged Surveillance Association would think twice before tweeting it. To be honest, I applaud you, the eagle shirt wearing, Harley Davidson riding, inner cup spitting IndyCar commentator. It's the best insult of the week, hands down. And to a Frenchman, what a day. Speaking of which, the number of familiar sounding last names on the grid was fucking staggering. I don't know how many drivers there are in total in IndyCar, and you best believe I don't give enough of a fucking shit to Google it right now. But it feels like at least 1/3 of them are just failed F1 drivers. Fittipaldi, Ericsson, Grosjean. Alright, that one I feel a little bit bad about. He did almost burn alive during one of the Grand Prix. But to be honest, he was shit way before the accident as well. Now, obviously, comparing to NASCAR, the big difference is the resemblance to regular Formula racing. The cars, the drivers, the tracks, I mean, it really does feel like a cheap knockoff league of F1. Kind of like Major League Soccer in the States. A whole bunch of Americans trying to copy and commercialize something they're utterly shite at. In this case, driving. And getting some overpriced deadbeat Europeans shipped in to spice things up. I mean, if they manage to get a messy equivalent into the league, then we can start talking. Then the race highlight video might get more than 50,000 views for once. But honestly, even though I previously absolutely thrashed NASCAR as a sport, at least it was different in many ways. It's a completely different concept, different rules, absurd track, ridiculous number of laps and drivers, and yet half the IQ of the F1 grid. But it seems like it could be entertaining if I was there in person. This one, this ain't it. You know, this ain't it. It's just F1, but worse. Much, much worse. You know, for IndyCar, it's more of a, hey, honey, I couldn't afford to get us a pair of real racing tickets, so I got these for 90% off at Walmart type of thing, you know? Thanks, Daddy. Now. I'll be a darling and go out in the yard and tell your brother to stop trying to talk to the neighborhood damsel over there. Let's keep the f***ing in the family. I'm so sorry. I'm so f***ed in the head, mate.